cans of soup. Soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's a perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, you saw how things have changed. One of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There was a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pool filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up and said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you're kidding me. He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain, and I walked up to my car, and they had, those days, you used to remember the straight razor, you'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty, razor, you'd bang them on the curb, 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 you'd 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 bang them on the curb, getting them on the, bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, curb, get them rusty, curb, get them rusty, put them in the curb, get them rusty, curb, get them rusty, them rusty, put them rusty, them rusty, them rusty, them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. No, seriously.
Dub is a shit fuck, 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 you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Gosh Darn. There's a show going on. This is the Above It All show. This is 1693, and that's a lot of shows. That's a lot. There's a Max dog right. Oh, hi Max. He's woofing around. He's right next to me. So I've done a lot of shows, and it's the Above It All show. And well, it's a show. And so it's above it all, and everything else is below. This is the Above It All show. So this is the September 25th. Episodic installation, if you will, of the Above It All show. This is Above It All 1693, which happens to take place on September 25, 2022. Notice how there's almost no commonalities with those numbers. It's 92522, right? And then 1693. The only common number between those is the 9, 1693. 925, and so really it kind of stands out in a little bit when you think about it, because I've already done 9 Spooktacular movie reviews. It's just 9 is really just it's always there, it's always watching, and it just comes out. Anyway, so I'm doing a show today. This is the Above It All show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Above It All programmatic show. This is a new show. At least this is what my producers tell me. This is a new show. This is a new show today. This is a new show. I've never done a 1693 before. I've only done the other ones before that. So this is a new show, 1693 on 9/25/22. A new show, but it's also a news show. Doing a news show today as well. So it's a new news show. It's a new news. It's a new show, and doing the news today, and I have some views on the news. So it's a new show. This is September. It's September 25. Today on the news show day. Today is Sunday, everybody. Today is Sunday. Sunday, the day of the sun. All praise the sun and so forth. So it's Sunday. Today on September 25th. It's Sunday on September 25th. And so have you ever really experienced, people, they always say, oh, Friday the 13th, right? But what about Sunday the 25th? Because that's today, Sunday the 25th. Sunday, it's a day. It's on the weekend. It's the weekend today. And yesterday I had a weekend experience. Today I'm going to also have a weekend experience because it's Sunday, but it's not a weekend. It's really like the week beginning when you factor in that Sunday is the first day of the week. Again, there are 7 days in a week. And so, and so I'm doing a show today. This is the show that I'm doing today. This is the Above It All show. I've got some news, because this is a news show. I've got some news. So I will be getting into the news. I've got some coffee. Some people, they say kofefe. I'm sometimes one of those people, so I've got some here. I've got some kofefe. And so I gotta drink my kofefe for the news show, because we're going to be getting into some news today. There's some news that I want to get into today. And so there's, that's the thing. You ever like news, like what is news, it's a lot, but anyway, so we're getting into a news show today. And so I'm going to be talking about some of the news. I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about food. I eat food. In fact, I just ate some food. I'm going to be talking about some Democrats. I love the demon rats. Maybe we'll talk about a Republican or two. And, just some other stuff that's in the news, because this is a news show. And I do news shows every day. I do one of these every day. So that's why I'm here to do the show, because I'm doing the show every day. So I'm here. I'm going to drink some more coffee. All right, so going to be doing a show. There's a Max behind me. I'm not sure if Max is visible. Max, say hi. All right. It's a new show, and it's a new show. So there you go. Hopefully everyone's having a good day today, because today is it's a it's a day. So anyway, this is a news show, so I should get into the news. Well, is this really news? I mean, this is more of like, I don't even know, like what quantifies as news? What qualifies as news? Like, if I do this, is this news? I mean, it's a new action. Like what is news versus like an opinion piece? An opinion piece is news. I mean, they've never posted that piece before. It's news, right? So like, what is news? Does this count as news? The story I'm about to do, it's not really a story, really. It's just, it's an article on a website. Is it really news? I don't really know what it is, but I'm going to be talking about it. This is, it's a subject that I'm going to be discussing. It's a subject that is in the news. If the news is, if it's, collection of journalistic website. So there's a subject here. CNN has posted a video and an article about food. And because food is a hot button subject on this show, I wanted to cover it. What are regular people thinking about inflation and food? So this is on CNN. Food prices are soaring, and that's changed how we eat. So let's watch this video.
Thinking about how much we were spending on groceries, and I think it would add up to around $1,200 a month. I suddenly started feeling like I needed to...
So I just want to say one thing real quick. One of the reasons why I hate these videos and these articles is because, like, I'm spending $1,200 a month on food. Like, that sounds ridiculous, right? That sounds ludicrous. But they never say, how many kids do you have? Or, can we get like a consistent metric? Can we do like per person when we talk about grocery bills? Right? Like $1,200 a month. But if you got 6 kids, I'm just wondering, like, I think we can easily break it down into a unit of per person. I mean, even kids and adults, we don't have to like be that specific, but per person or something. I don't know, man. Anyway, so let's listen to Lisa, I believe her name is.
Cut back on things.
Lisa Altman from Austin, Texas, says her family has adjusted their shopping and eating habits to combat surging prices. And then on here, we've got cookies. Are these cookies? What are they? They're like some treat of some kind. We've got Dairy Pure. I don't know what that is. We've got 20 packs of Cheez-Its. I mean, that's great. We got Penne Rigate. I mean, that sounds like it's probably the least bad thing here. Chewy Fudge. You gotta have Chewy Fudge. Garlic bread. And this is a good label. Like, it's just straight to the point. Yeah, it's garlic bread. We got 2 lemons. You gotta have 2 of them. 1 gallon of milk, which is different than Dairy Pure. I don't know what that is. Some cheese and some chocolate chip cookies. Or just chocolate chips, I guess. So this is, again, this is... Now, I don't want to be too mean to these people. I'm not trying to be that rude, but, on my show, I talk about the average American diet, right? Like, the average American diet, is like, we wonder why 93% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. We just wonder why these things are the case. I don't know, man. I don't know. If I am unable to pay for food, chewy fudge, not going to be on my list. But anyway, let's be fair. Okay.
I'm the primary breadwinner in my family, and it definitely has impacted us. I have 3 children.
I have a question. So there's this art piece in the background. This art piece. Now, does anyone see a dog here? Like, hear me out. Check this out. Like, this is the nose. These are the eyes, right? And then that's the ear. Does anyone see like a dog face? And this is the mouth. I'm seeing a dog on this art piece in the background. Does anyone see that shit? Or am I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let me rewind. I was distracted by that.
I'm the primary breadwinner in my family, and it definitely has impacted us. I have 3 children, and I had to make some decisions about how to best economize for my family.
Changes include buying more store brands, chicken instead of steak, more pasta, and less snacks for 3 kids. So we have 3 kids. So presuming that it's 2 parents, 3 kids, that's 5 people, $1,200 for 5 people. Okay, all right.
Now, I pre-plan my meals, and sometimes I'll even plan them around things that are on sale. We started, spending less on groceries, started looking more at, not using name brands, buying the store brands and comparing, who had.
So I just want to say this real quick. Now, I know a lot of people could dispute this, and I know this doesn't apply to every product, right? It doesn't apply to every product. I'm aware of that. I know there's some exceptions, right? But the idea that people spend more money on name brand food, like that to me is baffling. It really is. I mean, like I've tried name brand like foods and compared them to store brand, mix them up, and I can't tell the difference. Now, again, there's some foods that really, store brands, and each store has a variable quality. So I'm aware of that. But like, I don't know, man. Why would you spend so much money on a brand name? Right? So, and also like, you shouldn't really be buying that much food that has brand names, but that's a separate conversation. But the store brand versus brand name, like just the idea that people would default to something that's like 50% more expensive, where do you think the store brands get their items, by the way? Like, where do you think that they get, like, if it almost looks identical, where do you think they get it from? What do you think the difference is between like ragu and like a can of spaghetti sauce? Well, the difference is ragu has added sugar to make you an addict, right? And it has the ragu name on the label. That's it. So you're spending like fucking triple the price for nothing except poison. Anyway, Andrew Kohler, $2 super chat, pre-plan instead of post-plan. Well, you can always plan things retroactively if you believe that time is 4-dimensional, of which it is 4-dimensional, but because it's a dimension, it's in space time, that you could bend it, right? Because it's a dimension, right? And then you can go. So you can post plan. Yeah. Anyway, let's watch this. I got an article I'm going to read too. This is associated with a whole article, so I'm going to go into this whole thing.
And comparing, who had the best value for the money, and that's pretty much how it's been, for the last 6 months or so.
So these are the groceries. Well, I mean, if you can call them that she bought on this trip out. So spices, my opinion, spices are one of the most important things you can buy. Like one thing of spices, it literally will make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meals far superior. So I'm just saying, anyone on a budget, like getting cheaper food ingredients or whole food ingredients and just throwing spices on that bitch is going to be way better, way easier, way cheaper in the long run than buying name brand processed meals. So That's one thing I gotta say. But anyway, the milk, I don't even know what this is. Dairy Pure, I don't even know what that means. And then like all the cookies and stuff. So anyway, let me, oh God, help.
Are you for the
help?
exemption?
No. All right. So anyway, so that's the story of Lisa Altman. We asked CNN readers how inflation has impacted their eating habits, and many mentioned dining out less often, buying less meat, and giving up splurges. Now, this is the thing I want to talk about in this article for this segment, is that it's not all of this stuff is bad. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be mean to people. That's not my thing. You know, I just want to talk about the, symptoms of the problems in America. But this article does have some interesting news where some people have used this moment as a way to just reframe and rethink everything about how they eat, what they eat, what foods they like and stuff. And as I say, the number one thing when it comes to getting healthy, when it comes to eating, is just by like writing down what you eat. Like if you change nothing about your diet, change nothing, you do exactly the same thing. You just get a pen and paper, right? And you just write down everything you eat. That's going to cause you to have that awareness that most people don't really have. So anyway, the pandemic, the inflationary cost of food prices going up significant amounts of percent. I've noticed it at the grocery store. I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous. And so that has caused a lot of people to reframe how they eat. And that to me is a good thing. But anyway, some said they are very worried about the future. Food prices have spiked 11.4% over the past year, the largest annual increase since May 1979, according to data released in mid-September by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Grocery prices jumped 13.5% and restaurant menu prices increased 8% in that period. So I will say this much. Going to a restaurant in a pandemic, first of all, you're spending so much money for nothing. You're spending money, an exorbitant amount of money, like 5-10x what the actual food cost is, on exposing yourself to a virus because of what? Oh, atmosphere? Buy yourself a couple of fucking candles, right? Get one of those like CDs of like, just like background, look up on YouTube, like, background talking in a restaurant or something. You can find like a 10-hour loop of like just the sound of people conversing in a restaurant, right? Find that, right? Get some candles and then have that fucking shit at home. And then you could do that like for, again, a quarter of the cost. I'm just throwing that out. You don't need to be going to a restaurant in a pandemic. Consumers are responding by looking for deals and switching to generic brands. According to July data from market research firm IRI, companies like Tyson have noticed customers are switching from beef to chicken. Applebee's and IHOP have reported an uptick in higher income customers who are likely trading down from pricier restaurants. Like, I wonder, like, when the, these upper class, uppity, yuppie pricks are like, oh, maybe we won't go to the restaurant down the street. Do you want to go to IHOP? And then everyone else in the fucking goddamn, like, family is like, I've never even been to IHOP. Can you imagine going to... And then, like, they compromise. All right, let's go to Apple. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the idea of rich people eating at IHOP, to save a buck or two, that's hilarious to me. I guess they don't need to be rich people, but still, that's fucking funny to me. For those who struggled to buy food even before prices shot up, rising costs could mean falling into food insecurity, a state of unreliable access to affordable food. Now, this is a big problem. This is the biggest problem. We saw that when the stimulus check happened and the child tax credit were going on, the cash out monthly child tax credit payment, that food insecurity levels and poverty levels dropped a significant amount of percentage. I think it was like poverty was like cut in half or something in the United States, child poverty, food insecurity, malnourishment. Like all the numbers started to go in the right direction. And then Joe Manchin was like, fuck that shit. We're not going to keep that up. The child tax credit is gone. And now all the numbers are going back in the direction they were in 2020, right? So now, again, we're in the same area where 2020, the pandemic, and all kinds of societal, like supply chain and stuff like that, caused a lot of economic issues, right? You have a pandemic, people are freaking out, right? But then in 2021, the government responded to the pandemic, fixed the numbers, right? And then they just gave up in 2022. So now 2022 is like a replay of 2020, except the government has said, we're not going to give you anything else. There's no hope on the horizon. So, That's pretty fucking, that's pretty creepy. But anyway, quote, if food prices continue to increase at the rate that outpaces increase in wages, that is their inevitable consequences. That is the inevitable consequences. I'm really high right now, so I'm sorry. Said Jason Lusk, head of the Agricultural Economics Department at Purdue University. The last time we had a big run-up in food insecurity rates was in the wake of the Great Recession. Last year, about 10.2% of U.S. households were food insecure, according to the USDA, slightly below 10.5% rate in 2020 and 2019. Even for those not at risk of hunger, the surges in food prices are jarring. Food, quote, matters a lot to our self-esteem and our mood. Now, I just want to say this much. That is a huge problem, right? I have a history of being obese. I used to, treat my depression with eating food every day. I know a lot of people in America, like the typical thing you're not supposed to talk about at a dinner table with your family is politics and religion. Well, actually, there's a third plank. Food. If you talk to motherfuckers about their food choices, what they're eating, food, what's in the food, people will get really fucking offended. A lot of people have their identities wrapped up in their diets, what food they eat, how they eat. Oh, I don't know how to cook is like an identity to people. Like it's like a state that they're in a permanent fixed state. So again, a lot of people get really fucking triggered when you talk about food, politics, or religion. So again, that's a problem. When people tie their identity and their mood to food, that's a problem. I've been there, and so I can tell you it's not good. Said William Masters, a professor at Tufts University School of Nutrition Science and Policy, was also blah, blah, blah. Not being able to buy the foods that people are used to, that your children are asking for, that your family wants, that's a really hard thing. He said any disruption of habit is very, very hard. Now, again, habit, aka addiction, aka, again, these are drugs that people are being addicted to. Feeding kids sugary shit, juice is a drug. Again, there's really limited to no health value, especially if you're buying like the cheap ass shit, pre-juiced juice. There's no health benefits in that shit. If you're doing like fruit juice, like fresh squeezed, maybe that's debatable. But like, Tropicana is not juice. It's soda that's not carbonated, okay? So again, giving these kids these kinds of drugs, I think, again, that has societal problems. For Carol Orman, cooking is a joyful experience. I love to cook. It's my favorite thing to do, she said. She especially likes to cook Indian and Thai food, and stocking the spices and ingredients she needs for those dishes is no longer feasible. When every ingredient has gone up, that adds to the total bill, she said. What used to cost $250 to $300 is now $400. Erman, 60, and her husband, 65, rely on a Social Security income, and the increase was stretching their budget. Now, again, they have a fixed income, right? And inflation is going up. Their Social Security check isn't going up. It's a fixed income. So if cost is going up and income is staying the same, really what is happening is your income is going down. The value of the dollar is decreasing. So what's really happening here is you're getting less and less income, right? Your ability to pay for things is getting cut. You are losing money. The government essentially, right, capitalism is stealing the money from you in a roundabout fashion, right? So just throwing that out there. About 6 months ago, she realized she had to change the way she shops for groceries. In an effort to bring their immediate costs down, Erman stopped shopping in bulk as often as she used to. Now she hunts for sales. Avoids buying beef, that's good, and opts for boxed wine instead of nice bottles when she buys wine at all. Boxed wine, nothing to be ashamed of for sure. But anyway, shopping in bulk is cheaper. Now think about this, right? We live in a society where shopping in bulk is cheaper than regular shopping, not in bulk, right? It's cheaper, right? It's, usually you can get way better deals, right? You don't have to go to the store that often, so you spend less money on gasoline. The only cost is that you have to have more money up front. Now, once again, it is extremely expensive to be poor in this country. It is extremely expensive. It is more expensive to be poor in this country than it is to be wealthy, because you have to pay the poor tax, right? Oh, you can't afford to go to the grocery store in bulk, so you have to go to the smaller grocery store and more trips, spending more gasoline, more time. Time is money, of course. Spending more time investing into getting smaller amounts of things, and you spend more money overall. You waste more time overall, but again, you're strapped for cash. So the only thing is that you just can't buy things in an upfront way, right? So again, there's all these kinds of things going on here. I'm going to skip this part. A vegetable garden in the front lawn. There's a dog there, so that's great. Like Wickman, Jenny Wells, 38, pays attention to wealthier patterns and food systems. A former chef and rancher, she noticed prices increasing well before the current bout of inflation. My alarm bells started going off for prices going up in 2019 when devastating floods in the Midwest drowned livestock and destroyed grain stocks. Wells decided back then that she would like to be more self-sufficient. I saw the food prices going up and realized that I was going to get quickly overwhelmed with our budget. So in February, she ripped up the grass in her front lawn of her home in Fort Worth, Texas, which is going to save money on water, which she shares with her husband and best friend, and planted a vegetable garden. So again, I don't want to spend too much time here, but I think I covered everything I wanted to. A lot of people are using this moment of inflation, pandemic, societal change, to make good changes in their lives, and that's great, but I think that that's not the standard. I think most people are getting cheaper, less healthy foods, and they're eating in less healthy ways. That's my reading of the situation. Going to the grocery store, I do a little cart watching. Yeah, that's right. You know, you're at the grocery store, sometimes people are looking what's in there. Yeah, I'll cop to it. I'm a cart watcher. You know, I like to see what the people are buying, so I go to the grocery store sometimes. You know, people think, oh, that's a private, that's like a violation of the HIPAA laws. No way, motherfucker, that shit's transparent. I'm cart watching. I'm looking at, oh, yeah, you want 2 boxes of cookie dough? Okay, buddy, sure. Anyway, and in my experience, I think most people's diets are going to get worse and have been getting worse. But it is good that people's getting things in control and helping and changing their habits for the better. That is a good thing, and that should be highlighted. So anyway, that's my 30-minute food segment. I don't know how long that was, but so this is a new show doing a program. And I'm doing a program, and that program is called The Above It All Show. This is episode 1693 of The Above It All Show. Doing a program today. I watched a horror movie last night. I watched Ring last night. So I'll be reviewing that at the end of today's show. But I want to, talk more. I want to do some more stuff. I want to talk more about stuff. Things, as well as stuff. So anyway, let's, the resistance, folks. Let's talk about the resistance. Now, we're not talking about the resistance, in the 1940s or anything, the 1930s. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the resistance to Donald Trump. The hashtag resistance has a new hero. I mean, they've had a new hero for a while now. And that's Liz Cheney. So Liz Cheney's back in the news. She's a resistance icon. All the liberals love her. They love George Bush now. They love Dick Cheney. The liberals are in love with the old school Republicans. Liz Cheney says she will not remain a Republican if Donald Trump is the GOP nominee in 2024. Let's watch this.
With less moderate to severe eczema,
oh no!
Why hide your
oh
skin?
No! I forgot to preload that shit. All right, let's read it. Wyoming GOP rep Liz Cheney said at the Texas Tribune Festival Saturday that if the former President Donald Trump becomes the Republican Party's nominee for president in 2024, she will not remain a Republican. Now, first of all, I'd like to say and get this on record: Slay Queen. She is an icon. I mean, she really is a hero for this, and I really have to say, she's a hero, and that's, I mean, really. Trump is going to be nervous. I mean, let's be honest here. This is making Trump nervous. The idea that longtime Republican families are leaving the Republican Party over him and his power in the party is increasing, that's going to make him nervous, right? Cheney also said she will campaign for Democrats to ensure that Republican candidates who promote election lies do not get elected. Cheney was talking about the Arizona gubernatorial race and how she will work to ensure the GOP nominee, Kari Lake, the former television journalist who has become a leading voice behind Trump's lies about election fraud, does not get elected. Oh no. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure Kari Lake is not elected, Cheney said. When asked if that includes campaigning for Democrats, Cheney said yes. Now again, the Republicans, they're seeing this. They are fucking scared shitless. They're thinking to themselves, damn, we fucked up. The resistance just got a new icon, right? They are sweating bullets in the Republican side. They're thinking, holy fuck, man. They are freaking out. But Cheney would not go as far as saying that she wants Democrats to keep control of the House of Representatives after the midterm elections. Cheney said that there are a lot of bad policies in the Biden administration, but added, I think it's really important, though, as voters are going to vote, that they recognize and understand what Republican conference consists of in the House of Representatives today. Now, again, she lost her primary race, so she's a loser. And she's also a crybaby. But that makes her, again, it makes the setup for the stage for her joining the Democratic Party a lot more fierce. You know, she's going to enter, she's going to be kicked out of the party in a lot of ways. She lost her primary. The party has turned on her. And then again, imagine a movie poster, like an album cover. She's going to walk away. Right, it fades to the black and white, and she's walking, and then and then at the end of the walking, there's a big bright light, and it's hashtag resistance has a new hero, and so that's what she's doing. She's going to enter the resistance, and that's great. So I can't wait to resist with Liz Cheney, and I'm sure the Republicans are really nervous right now. Let me just tell you, I'd be nervous. If I were a Republican and I saw Liz Cheney go away, I'd be nervous as fuck. I'd be freaking the fuck out. So anyway, there you go. Liberal icon. Andrew Kohler, $2. Breaking, 1693 is in fact a prime number. That's great. So anyway. This is a show. I'm doing a program today. This is it's a Prime program. It's the Prime program, and the program is Prime, like Optimus Prime, the Transformer. He's not the guy. He's just the blue one, right? I think. Anyway, so we got a show going on. This is the Above It All program, and it's a program. First of all, I got to say that this is a program. It is a program. It does exist. It is real. And it is also happening. So that's pretty much my show for today. I'm taking it easy today. So I'm not going to do that much of a long show. But I do want to do a movie review before I go. So if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, this is the QCOC portion. Please field them below. There you go. But just doing a little bit of a quickie today. I'm taking it easy. I hope that y'all take it easy as well. TYT interviewing a prison abolitionist. I think I heard something about that, but I did not follow up on that. Like Amazon Prime, when you can use a sub to your Twitch channel, which, by the way, you should. Subscriptions are something % off this month or something. And I will probably be doing a Twitch stream later. So if you want to follow me, that would be cool. If not, that's fine. I don't really care. Olay, that's excellent. I'll have to go watch that. So there's a show going on. This is the Above It All show. This is it's a show. And I'm doing the show today. It was heated. Imagine getting heated. All right, y'all. So yesterday we are on to a new franchise in the Spook Sixular movie review portion of the show. And yesterday I watched Ring. I watched the original Ring. And I've never seen the original Japanese Ring before. I've seen the American ones. But you know, when I was younger, finding Japanese movies was a lot harder than it is today. And so, you know, there's a couple of things on my checklist that I haven't checked off yet, and Ring is among them. I watched Ring on Shudder, which is a feature of AMC Plus. And anyway, so again, I've only seen the American version of Ring and Ring 2. I know that there's a new American Rings. I haven't seen that shit. I also know, I was looking into this, and I am aware that there is a Freddy versus Jason style movie with Sadako from Ring and the character from Ju-on, which I also haven't seen. So I'm going to look into that as soon as possible, maybe this year, maybe next year. So I'm looking into that because I love Freddy versus Jason. Anyway, so Ring. This is a great movie. I just want to say that first and foremost. The way that this movie's like, the way that the movie flows is, in my opinion, really excellent. So they start the movie with, like, you know, two like teenage girls. They're talking about like school or whatever, you know, talking about boys, whatever. And so they're having a good old time. Then they start telling the story about a scary videotape, you know. And then one of them goes to the bathroom, and the other one like reveals before she goes to the bathroom that she saw the tape and it's been a week. So the other one goes to the bathroom, and then she dies mysteriously. And like the way that the people die in this movie, it's not shown until the very end, which I love. And the other thing about this movie that I really love about how people die is they literally get scared to death, right? The phrase, like the saying, "Oh, I got scared to death." Well, that's what happens in this movie, right? The like, you know, there's no slashing, right? There's no like cutting people's heads off, right? There's no like disease, right? It's a supernatural horror film, and the way that the victims die is from getting scared to death. Like their heart just stops and they just go cold and drop dead on the floor. And so anyway, so all the bodies start to get found, and I think it was like an aunt of one of the characters from the beginning who dies is, you know, an investigative reporter, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta look into this." She goes to where they stayed on vacation 7 days ago, or I guess 8 or 9 days ago at that point, and finds the videotape. She watches it. She gets the phone call, and then she takes like a photo of herself or whatever, and she realizes that she's cursed, basically. And so now she's starting to freak the fuck out. She's got a kid, by the way. She's a single mother. And then she goes to her ex-husband to ask for help, and then he watches the tape. And then they go like on a hunt to figure it out. So like the way that this movie, so it starts, you know, a character gets killed, and then it's like, it's kind of basically like a murder mystery movie, which is what I really enjoy that about this movie. Like, it's a lot of like horror movies, they're kind of like scary the whole time, really, but this movie is like, it's kind of scary at the start, right? When you're watching the tape with the main characters, they watch it a couple times, they do frame advance. The sound effects, right? The music, and just, it's all really good. The tape itself, also very scary. It's a very scary aspect of the film. One of my favorite parts of the film. And the other thing about this movie I want to talk about real quick is the music. The music is incredible. It sounds like, you know, it sounds like a lot like Silent Hill, where it's just like there's a lot of random noises and like not even musical instruments at times, but like just random noises, and then like it turns into like musical stuff, and it's just really unpredictable, and it kind of builds that kind of that vibe, you know, because it's like the music is unsettling, but it also sounds good. So I just want to say that much. So anyway, they travel to an island to find out like more stuff. You know, they're in Japan, so I guess there's a lot of islands in Japan. But they travel to an island to find out some more stuff about the character from the tape, who's in the tape. They find out that the tape is like, is it 40 years old? How old is it? Is it what's going on? Because the characters, the people in the film died 40 years ago, so what the fuck's going on? Anyway, and so eventually they kind of figure out, oh, by the way, the ex-husband has like some supernatural like ability to read people's minds or something. I don't quite understand. Like, they didn't really explain that. So anyway, so the character who's Sadako's mom is like also one of those people. She can like communicate with the ocean or something. So then the ex-husband that the investigative reporter brings along is also one of those. So he like reads some motherfucker's mind, some shit like that. I don't even know what the fuck was going on there, but it was pretty cool. So he finds out that basically Sadako was killed by a corrupt doctor, and so you want to know why. They find out that the well that was, it's in the video, is she's trying to come out at the well. The thing I love about the videotape is the videotape ends when like the last frame of it. They don't really acknowledge it in the movie, which is weird because they're doing the frame advance at one part of the movie. They don't really acknowledge this as part of the movie too much. But like the last frame of the videotape is like it stares at a well for the last shot, and then the very last frame is like you see like an arm come out, but they don't really mention that in the movie. They don't mention like, oh, what's going on? Is she trying to climb out? Like, what the fuck, right? And then like at the end, when they show the rest of the tape, like the tape like kicks off from there. She climbs out of the thing, and it's just really great. But anyway, so they find a well that's below the cabin, and so they find like the cabin that the kids stayed at on vacation that the investigative reporter saw the tape at. They went back there, look in the basement, and there's the well. Oh shit. So then they go in the well and try to like dump all the water out, which is like a complicated bucket scheme. It's really bizarre. Then they find the corpse of Sadako, and like the investigative reporter bitch, she like, oh, by the way, her kid saw the tape at one point. So that's another plot point. That was pretty good too. And I know that that's going to be a theme in Ring 2. But anyway, so she finds the corpse. She's like holding the corpse and saying, oh, your poor soul or whatever. She gets out of the hole. They call the cops. And then like her 7-day deadline expires, and she's fine. She's good to go. So she's thinking, oh, okay, we set the spirit free or some fucking shit, whatever. Okay. And then, she's home, she's fine, she's living life. But then the husband, the ex-husband goes home, and then he's like starting to feel a little creeped out because he watched the tape one day after her. So he's just assuming she's fine, he's fine, right? But it turns out, twist ending, she was only fine because she copied the tape and showed it to him. And that's how you pass the curse on. You just got to give it to someone else, right? And so it has nothing to do with them going in the well. Like, that was just their own fun side quest. So anyway, so then he dies. And it shows what we didn't see at the beginning of the movie. It shows what happens. And of course, it starts right where the tape leaves off. She climbs out of the well. She walks slowly toward the screen. Now, then the guy is like, whoa, that's fucking weird. I don't even know if the tape is in my VCR or whatever. And then she starts to climb out of the TV. And again, the way she kills people is she just scares them to death. Right, it's a great thing. You see the shot with the eyeball; it's on the poster right there. And like again, the thing about her is that she always has the hair in her face, and then like you don't see her face really; you just see the eyeball. Right? It's a great ending. It's a wonderful ending. And then like the investigative reporter sees that he's dead, and she's confused, and she's trying to save the kid because the kid's like 3 days left or something. Then the movie ends. Anyway, it's a great movie. I love it. I've seen the American version. I also like the American version. I don't know if I'll watch the American version too this year or not, but I've never seen the Japanese version. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I thought it was great. I'm going to be watching Ring 2. Now, I'm aware that there's Spiral. I'm aware of this also. It's another Ring 2 called Spiral. I don't know where I can find Spiral, so I might watch that at some other point. People say that Spiral's not that good and Ring 2 is like the better sequel or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, I'm not going to be watching Spiral this time around, but we'll be watching Ring 2 tonight. If anyone wants to watch it with me, I'll be reviewing it tomorrow morning. But anyway, Ring, it's a great movie. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. And again, the unsettlingness of it, like how it's like kind of like a slow build up. And like it's kind of like a murder mystery, and then you don't really like it's good. I love the paranormal stuff. It's just I thought it was a good movie, so there you go. Boom. So that's goddamn Ring. Anyway, that's the show for today. Brooke Holloway, $1.99, a quickie news show, but also a banger. Thank you. I know y'all were talking about this debate or some shit the whole time, and I didn't read any of that, but yeah, I gotta watch that debate, it seems like. How long is it? Maybe I'll do a stream of it. I don't know. If people want me to, sure. But how long is it? Is it like an hour? Because that's like a 2-hour stream. If I do a 1-hour debate review, that's like a 2-hour stream. Oh, 15 to 20 minutes? Okay. Well, I'll add it to my mental list. Courtney says, I thought about you while watching. That's the ideal viewer, is they go about their day and they think about me at random points. That's the ideal viewer. The virus has successfully replicated inside of Courtney's mind. And she is now a carrier. Anyway, I'm going to watch Ring 2 tonight. I'm excited, honestly. I'm excited. Again, if anyone wants me to do like a fun video, like a top 10 or top 5 death scenes in like a Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm thinking about doing that. So if anyone has any interest in that, let me know. Because I'm thinking about doing that, because I was thinking about that the other day and yesterday a little bit. Just some fun stuff. Thank you, Tyler. Could speedrun it to debate. I could. I think about Andrea when I'm at the grocery store. The ideal viewer. The ideal viewer. But anyway, that's the show for today. A little bit of a short one. And so, just hanging out. Just hanging out right now. So, and anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And that's it. That's the show. So, there you go. Bye-bye!
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. We've ended the war on American energy. We were in war. And we've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, one of our great natural resources.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
What rules, you sons of bitches?